Good afternoon, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and Konami keeps on giving us some brand new support. I just went over the new Lightstorm cards, and now we have the new Ancient Gear cards. It looks like we are getting a total of 5 new cards. I'm really excited to go over these with you all. Ancient Gear is a really powerful and cool machine Earth archetype that needs some new love, and I can't wait to see what these cards do. So first things first, we have Antique Gear Dark Golem, or Ancient Gear Dark Golem. It's a level 8 Earth Machine effect monster, 3000 attack, 3000 defense. Can only use the second effect of this card once per turn. This card is always treated as an Ancient Gear card, or Ancient Gear Golem while on field and grave. It discards no more spell summon. Activate one of these effects. You can't set cards for the rest of the turn, which kind of sucks, but your Ancient Gears, your OTK deck, you're never sending cards anyway. You can add up to 2 Ancient Gear cards or Gear Town from your deck to hand, except himself. Then you discard 1 card. So that's really cool. I don't know how you're summoning this dude. He looks like he doesn't have a summoning condition. So that's cool that it like adds 2 discards 1, but I don't know. None of the Ancient Gears will want to be discarded. It's level 8. It's treated as Ancient Gear on field. That's cool. And then of course it has the same effect as all the other ones, where when this card attacks, your opponent can activate spells and traps until the end of the damage step, which doesn't really come up nowadays, but it's still a cool effect. I don't know. This card seems interesting, but it doesn't fix the biggest issue of the Ancient Gears, which is the deck bricks like no other. Like, yes, it's an OTK machine, but the deck bricks like a high hell because you're playing so many high level monsters, and none of them have a way to spell summon themselves from hand. And it looks like this is just another card that does that. We have a new level 4 monster. This is Antique Gear Tanker, or Ancient Gear Taker. This is a level 4 Earth Machine effect monster. Hey, any level 1s makes the Eternia Beast. Always keep that in mind. 1300 attack, 1300 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once a turn. It discards normal or special summon. Special summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your hand, except Ancient Gear Tanker, ignoring its summoning conditions. Or if your opponent controls a monster, special summon this card from your graveyard instead. That's actually really strong. Basically says, hey, your opponent has a card and this card's engraved, special summon them. Really good. And then on normal special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your hand, so it gets the level 8 guys out of your hand. Really strong. And then its second effect says, hey, you can target 1 face-up card you control, destroy it, that's going to be Gear Town. And if you do, for the rest of the turn, all monsters you control that are Ancient Gear Golem mentioned on the card gain 600 attack, which is just really strong. And this is actually a really good extended for the deck. I actually like this card. It makes the level 8s not as bad. Ancient Gear Dark Golem is okay, but this card's actually really good for the deck because it gives us ways to get the level 8s out of our hand. Now we have a brand new other level 4. This is Antique Gear Commander, or Ancient Gear Commander. It's a level 4 Earth Machine effect monster, 500 attack, 2000 defense. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card once per turn. You can send 1 Ancient Gear Golem from your hand, deck, or face on the field of grave. Immediately after this card resolves, normal summon 1 Ancient Gear monster. So that's interesting. So it gives you another normal summon basically, but you have to send an Ancient Gear Golem. Oh, it can send from deck. So actually, that's actually not that bad. So this card basically says it's double summon. You go like normal summon this, send a Golem from deck, then summon out Ancient Gear Tanker. Tanker summon out Golem. I can see that actually being not that bad. And this card is normal spell summon Ancient Gear Golem. Wait, if you normal or spell summon Ancient Gear Golem, you can spell summon 1 Ancient Gear Golem from your hand or graveyard, ignoring its summoning conditions. So I guess the idea is you want to go Ancient Gear Commander, send Golem from deck to grave, spell summon out Ancient Gear Tanker, Tanker spell summon Ancient Gear Golem from hand. Then, because you spell summon Ancient Gear Golem, the level 4 Tanker will reborn the Golem you sent from grave. So now you have 2 8s and a 4 and 2 4s. Not bad. I think a banish this card from graveyard. Place 1 Ancient Gear Continuous Trap from your hand face up onto the field. We don't really have continuous traps for this archetype, so I guess we're getting a new one. That seems pretty interesting. And then now we have a new continuous spell, Ancient Gear Advance. I'm not going to lie, the artwork of this card is absolutely breathtaking. Like, holy shit, this artwork is absolutely, like, bonkers cool. It's a continuous spell card. You can only use the first effect of this card once per turn. You can't set cards to turn this card is activated. I guess that's why it immediately activates the continuous trap, because you can't set cards. When this card resolves, it adds an Ancient Gear spell trap from your deck to hand. So it adds any spell or trap, which is really, really good. I don't think Gear Town considers itself as an Ancient Gear spell, so I don't really sure if it can add Gear Town, but still. And then once per turn, tribute one monster, draw one card. If you do, until the end of your turn, you can normal summon level 5 or higher monsters that are Ancient Gear without tributing. That's actually really, really good. The only issue I have with it requires you to tribute a monster already, so you most likely use your normal on that. And then it then allows you to tribute summon level 5. So all these new support cards seem to be like, hey, we know the level 8s are bricky in hand. Let's give us a new level 8 that like searches cards, and let's make it really easy to get them out of hand. That's cool and all, but I don't know if that actually fixes the biggest issue of Ancient Gear. Don't forget, this is a fusion archetype after all, and I don't see any of these new support making the fusions any better. But I do like the support though. Ancient Gear Duel or Ancient Gear Duel. This card is a continuous trap card. I can only use the second effect of this card once a turn. Monster control that are Ancient Gear Golem or mention it are unaffected by your opponent's activated monster effects. There you go. We needed something like this. If we're going to be a beatdown deck, we need to be unaffected by shit. Now they're not only unaffected by spells and traps during the battle phase, but this card says, hey, we're just unaffected by activated monster effects. So screw you. They're towers now. That actually is kind of an insane trap card. And then if your opponent controls a monster, fusion summon one fusion monster that mentions Ancient Gear Golem from your extra deck by banishing the materials from field or grave, including Ancient Gear Golem you control. And if you do, you can make up to 3 attacks during each battle phase. Okay, we finally found our new win condition of the deck. Ancient Gear Duel makes all our Ancient Gear monsters or monsters that consider themselves Ancient Gear Golem fucking towers. Yeah, holy shit. That's actually really good. So basically they're like, oh, we already gave you enough good fusion support. Let's just give you a whole bunch of like indirect, like, hey, we'll just make it easier to summon the big guys from hand, and then we'll fucking murder our opponent the old-fashioned way by making all Ancient Gear monsters towers. They're like pseudo towers, because they're still affected by spells and traps during the main phase, but once it hits battle phase, man, they're immune to everything. That's actually really solid. They're like, oh, we're unaffected by activated monster effects, we're gigantic, we make multiple attacks, we do piercing damage, and we're unaffected by spell and trap effects. What the fuck are you doing about it? Oh, that's actually really, really good. I think this is actually decent support. I was like a little lackluster until that third and final card. That third card, not the third final card. The third card had good art. The fourth card, this trap card of all things, is actually kind of crazy for the deck. And you only have to play it like as a one of, because what's it called? The Ancient Gear Commander sets it from deck, and Gear Advance can just search the damn thing. And I think a couple of the other Ancient Gear monsters already can search Ancient Gear cards. So yeah, this card just a really, really strong win condition for the deck now. Finally, we have a good trap card for Ancient Gears of all things. That's really cool. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoy. I think the next video is going to be on Magistus, which should be coming out in an hour. Hope you all enjoy it. Don't do anything stupid. See y'all next one, and bye-bye.